I haven't yet been able to address game one of the Lakers Blazers series. I did a full breakdown on my Patreon, so I've looked at the game twice. We can kill AD, right? We can do all sorts of things, man. And it's funny about Anthony Davis, right? Like, when us, the fans, question a guy if he has it, if he is a dog, right? If he has the killer instinct that, that's something special that makes him a superstar. When we're questioning if a guy has it, it's usually for a reason. We're usually right. Our initial instincts are right, and it's not something that's developed. For instance, what you saw with Luka and what we're seeing with Luka last night, right? Like, we instantaneously was like, all right, Luka's got it, right? It's pretty quick. It's one of the things that our blinks work quick with. We can see when a guy has it very quickly, and it's not something that develops over time. And Anthony Davis doesn't have it. It's clear. We know that. Is he a tier 1 talent? Yes, but he's best suited as a number 2. The problem is with the Lakers is that's all they've got right now. Now, I've heard rumors of LeBron, his groin. Why is he kind of stuck in second gear? Is he going to take perimeter jumpers? Hassan Whiteside, Nurkic, is Collins returning? The size of the Blazers has kept LeBron from doing what he wants in the paint. And a lot of those assists in that game one were out of necessity. They are sending help, but if LeBron's not willing to come off the screen and shoot the ball and kind of get his little mid-range post game going, it's going to be rough for the Lakers. It's going to be rough for the Lakers. Now, I don't expect Danny to shoot that bad or KCP. Are they going to go to waiters? I think that's one of the questions is how much patience is Vogel and LeBron going to have with the Danny Green? Because I had brought this up earlier before the series started, right? Like, look at Danny Green's history. He is a hot and cold shooter. Raptors fans know last year for most of the playoffs, he was MIA, right? He had a few big games, but for the most part, he was ice cold. Nick Nurse, whether it was out of necessity, belief, or a little bit of both, stuck with Danny Green throughout the playoffs. And we know the end results, right? But I don't know if the Lakers are going to be that patient. Can they afford to be that patient? And so I don't know what you do. Do you go to waiters? Do you go to J.R. Smith? Obviously, you're losing something on the defensive end, but you might push back and say, well, Dame and CJ going to get loose on anybody anyway. We're not stopping them anyway. We might as well try to counter it with better offense. But I think as far as adjustments go, I think you've got to see AD catch the ball in the post and work in the post more. You can tell he doesn't want that 3. Look, I know there's been games where AD's hit 4, maybe 5 threes. There's something at the end of his release when he gets pushed out to the 3-point line. There's a little bit of jerk at the end of his extension, and he doesn't really want it. It's a mental thing as well. So he needs to get back to his sweet spots and being aggressive and not disappearing, but not holding my breath with that. And then is LeBron going to shoot threes, right? They're going to have to score. But the one thing that I saw defensively that was very troubling was Caruso and their guards. When they went to trap Dame, it was pathetic. It was lethargic. It was deliberate and it was slow. And it allowed Dame to kind of pick his head up and go, oh, here comes the trap. Let me swing that. And you saw them dissect the Lakers defense late in that game. It's scary times for the Laker fans, right? Because it's not like Portland shot well. But again, I'm not telling y'all something y'all didn't know, right? You saw the game. But those are my quick takeaways from game one in that series. I think there is something to be said about Portland playing for their lives for the last 10 days, and the Lakers have been kind of just in cruise control. So I expect them to come out game 2 tonight and flex on Portland. I do. I think we're going to see them rev up the engine and just bring a different level of intensity and physicality, specifically to trapping Dame and CJ at the top. Like Caruso is supposed to, he made his typical hustle plays, but ultimately they got to be way more aggressive, way more physical and muck this thing up, right? They don't have, frankly, they don't have the skill to play a skill offensive game against this Portland roster. They don't, man. And shout out to Melo for hitting the floor and getting in a defensive stance. It's taken 15 years, but it's not too late, right? It's not too late. Get it done, Melo. Get it done.